Person 115. So you've been tasked with a tall order. I apologize for the information that comes, but so we start the process, and I see you. I see the rainbow bridge, but I see you standing on the end of it, and like this bridge comes, the stone bridge pops up over like the rainbow walkway, and the rainbow walkway turns into this like river beneath you, and you're standing at the very top of the arch of this stone bridge, and you're looking down into the water that's streaming below underneath you, and you have this singular flower in your hand, and you're like twisting the flower, and you're plucking off the petals, and the petals are flying down into the river below. And I'm getting like a few impulses. One is that painting, it's a really famous painting, and I think it's like the old, oh gosh, like almost like Elizabethan times, but no, it's not. It's probably after that. But it's like a park, and there's like a river in it, and there's all these people fully dressed in like Sunday clothes with like the umbrellas, but it's like this park, and there's tons of people. So I'm getting like this vision, and then I start getting like a vision of Mary Poppins also, and the very end when they're on the sidewalk with all the chalk paintings, and it's raining, and the kids and Mary have already left, and now the guy's just like kicking his painting, and it turns into like that almost like watercolor kind of look, and he's singing the chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cheree, and it's like really somber, and everything's very kind of heavy, and that like that very like the painting being like a mess of watercolors. And that's what I'm seeing too, the rainbow bridge that turned into this river. It's almost like this colorful water that's streaming underneath you. I don't know, it's very like artistic and very kind of heavy and somber too. And so you're standing at the top of this bridge picking the flowers, and as you pick off the last petal of the flower, you actually dive down into the water, and you turn into a dolphin. And so you're this dolphin now in the rainbow bridge water kind of river, and it starts turning really dark, and I see you like jumping kind of through the waves, and then all of a sudden this huge storm comes, and the waves turn really violent, and you as this dolphin is like totally scared, and I see like lightning cracking, the storm rolling in, and you're really scared, and I'm getting this pull between like, why are you scared? You're a dolphin, this is like your home. Like, why don't you just go under the water and be like in the calm water underneath the storm above? But you're sitting on the top of the waves and like trying to fight jumping through these like huge kind of tsunami-ish waves, and you're just like so frazzled, and it's like you're out of place. But I'm so torn because it seems like this is your home, and you shouldn't be out of place in your home. And so from here I see you get kind of washed all around, and then I'm almost seeing this like flash of human inside of the dolphin, which is interesting. And so the storm is like full-blown storm, and you're getting just like, there's so much fear, and you're getting washed all around. And then I see, like, cut to the next scene, I see you like washed up on the shore of an island. And so this island now, everything's calm, everything's peaceful. I see like, it's like this almost Bahama style island, and you're just like resting on this like white sand beach as this dolphin. But I see these flashes, and it keeps like almost like doing this not split screen, but like flash, where I'm seeing like this almost like Aphrodite mermaid style like person inside of this dolphin, like a human style person inside of the dolphin. And I see you almost as if like you're like, finally, like I'm home, but you're this dolphin. I see all these people come around you, and they see you as the dolphin, and they start pushing you back into the ocean, because it's like, this is where you need to go. You're a dolphin who's beached, yet you're inside, like I see this human inside of this dolphin, and you're almost like struggling, like, no, I'm human, can't you see? Like, I'm human, this is where I belong, I need a rest, I'm home, I need to rest. And they're like pushing you back because they only see you as this dolphin. So there's a really interesting dynamic of this, like, you're dolphin but you're human, and you're home but you're not home, and like what people are perceiving is one thing. And so I get that there's struggle in between what people see you as and what you're carrying, and that's what's creating this like this tension or this rift between where you're supposed to feel home and where you are home, and there's like expectation around it. There's a lot of stuff going on here. And so then cut to the next scene, I see you like now the ocean is kind of calm, and I see you like jumping through the top, skimming kind of the top of the ocean, jumping like a dolphin does. And then I see this like I don't know, it's weird because it's like a clown, like with a hoop, and he's like holding these hoops, and you jump higher and higher each time, and he keeps going, holding this hoop up until it's like up in the stars in the universe, and finally you jump, and like the last jump, you're up in the stars, and you turn into like, what do they call it? Constellation, like the dolphin. I don't even know if there's a dolphin constellation, but you turn into this, now there's this dolphin embedded in this, like in the stars. And so, and it's like finally a release almost. And so now this big ship comes, and so this big like pirate looking wooden ship comes flying, soaring, and it picks you up in human form. And now you're driving the ship. So this is my version of you and your vessel, and you're going to show me kind of where you are now. And so you're driving the ship, and you drive it right up to the constellation of the dolphin, and I see you sit in this like lotus style meditative pose, and you're levitating on the top of the ship, and you look at me and you say, and you're telling me, and you say, this is me, and you're showing me your human body, and you're showing me the dolphin body, and you're saying, this is me. I've learned to let go. I've allowed this to go back. I'm here. I've found my place. I'm in my form. And you're showing me your human form, and you're like, I've finally separated from almost like the baggage or the what I've been holding on to, and I'm getting this very like split life, almost like a past life. Like it feels like what I was seeing before. It's almost as if you were holding on to something from a past life or from a past incarnation, where in this lifetime it's almost as if you were confused in a sense, or holding on to so much of the weight of whatever that past life was. And so you're showing me in the ship, you're showing me the constellation, and you're like, this is back to where it needs to be. It's now guiding me, and I can be home here. And you're showing me your vessel, your body, like I can be home here, and you're very like light and fit and connected. And so from here, then you get behind the bow of the ship again, or the wheel, the steering wheel of the ship. And so now you start to drive towards a planet. You're pointing off into the distance, almost like Peter Pan, like showing the star to go home. And you're showing me this like planet off in the distance, and you're like, I'm going to take you to my home. And so you drive me to this planet, and we go, and we actually like pull the ship up to this planet, and we pull up, and it looks as if it's a crystal ball is what we're looking at. And so we're watching this planet, and we're like, even though we're outside of it, we can see kind of what's happening. And I get this like very quick timeline of what happened to the planet, and it's almost as if this is a water-based planet. Like the main element and the main makeup of the planet was water, and that was the main emphasis of it. And what I saw was basically the deterioration or the letting go of the element of that planet, and so that was its natural resource, and therefore the inhabitants of that planet and everything that went along with it over time had been let go, and then the planet basically wasted away. And so you were showing me basically the beginning of the planet to the end of the planet, and how the natural resources were used, and then that means the souls that were on that planet couldn't exist anymore. And so you were basically showing me this component of your timeline. And so from here you drive the ship, and you say, okay, now it's time to go to the Akashic Records. So you pull us up to the doorway that leads to your Akashic Records, and you lay down this like plank to walk to the doorway, and you look at me as you're grabbing on the handle of the doorway, and you go, are you ready? And so I look at you, and we're like, okay. So you open the door, and a flood of water comes out. And so as that happens, we rush in, and as soon as we get in, the door's shut, we turn into dolphins. And so we are like swimming through this big open kind of water, and we're playing around, and then all of a sudden the water starts to get thicker and more white. And so I see, now I'm seeing you as an individual dolphin kind of in this corner of your Akashic records, and all I'm seeing is things becoming more cloudy, more thick, and you're becoming less playful, less happy, and you're becoming more stagnant and more still and more like frozen into place. And I'm getting almost like that this was the I feel like we're running through what the deterioration of your original planet was, and I'm seeing that almost like you're just going through this process of giving up. It's like you become less active and you just don't stop doing things, and now you're just this like stalemate in the corner and you're not doing anything and you've given up. And so when I get that, all the water kind of disappears, we turn back into humans, and now we're in like your records, and your records is almost like the inside of an aquarium where we're in a dry part, but right across the glass is like a water scene filled with like animals playing in the water. And so we're here in this dry area now, and so I call down your higher self and I ask your higher self, what's for the greatest good for this person to know at this moment in time? And your higher self looks at me and says that that you have come into this life carrying so much baggage from these past lives, and that it is part of your process and part of your lesson here on Earth to be an Earth Watcher, and that you are here helping to stabilize kind of this like ecosystem within our Earth. And I was flashed back to my knowledge on like the elementals and the I know there's been different planets within the multidimensional multiverse of where all of us kind of star beings come from, and I know that there's like been planets that have been a heavy focus on air and water and earth and whatnot, and so I see and I understand that you're coming into this earth to help ground and balance the element of this water, but it seems as if and what your higher self was saying is that you've held on to so much of this baggage, and it's almost as if I'm seeing you with like 10 layers of winter coats on you, and it's like you are almost like drowning in the inability to recognize how to help stabilize this process here on Earth, and you're feeling such a weight and such a pressure, and so I would go to the word like socially responsible, like you are taking on so much of this. Like I would say you're probably one of those people who hear the commercials or see the news reports about the earth and how it's changing and all of this, and you probably get sick to your stomach and you feel like there's something you should be doing, or you maybe want to get involved with an initiative or something. Like I would feel like you're one of those advocates for the earth, and you feel like you really want to do something, but I would say you're probably one of those people, as I'm seeing it in your records, that you just feel so burdened and so weighted down, almost as if you give up, saying, I'm just one person, how can I do it? Because that's what I'm getting was your past need to learn from in your past incarnation. And so I'm asking your higher self, I'm like, well, what can she do? Because I'm with you. I'm like one person. How do you change the world being one person, right? And so I'm like, that's a heavy thing to have to tell somebody that they're here to do. And so I'm like, well, how does she do this? Like, what's the goal of this? How does she change the world, and how does she help stabilize the water here on Earth? And basically what they were saying is that that's exactly what got you into the problem in the first place, and your people from this original home planet, is that was the fear, and that one person can do anything, and that I guess it was just going through the using of the natural resources. But they basically were saying that you being here now, that's part of your lesson, is being able to help and show people, but also for yourself, learning that it all it takes is one person, and to hold, and they were saying, emphasizing holding the love vibration. And they were showing me like how when a person brings home and they were showing me my example, but like when I bring home a bouquet of flowers and put them in my house, if I just put them in my house and give them water and do nothing else, they'll die within a few days. But if I'm there and I talk to the flowers each day, and I send love, and I enjoy their beauty, and I interact with the flowers, they will last in pristine kind of, even though they've been cut, they will last for like 3-4 weeks. But it's engaging with it, and it's sending out that love vibration, and it's interacting. And so they were showing me that on a very small scale, but then they said that's what the earth is. And they said the more you engage with the earth by being a singular person, and I have a feeling it's the connection to the water element, but it's simply like when it rains, when you're in the lake, when you're in the river, when you're engaged in water, when you're drinking water, it's sending out that love vibration, and it's being great, sending out the gratitude and the love, and it's like you have this energy and this ability to connect with this vibration of this element. And I'm getting the more that you do that, it affects on the grand scale the earth in the whole, and it's being engaged with that element. And this is something, being like the earth, one of the earth watchers, this is like kind of part of your purpose here. I would say part of your purpose here on earth is bringing the knowledge from the past lives here, and being able to help affect and change the direction that the earth is going. And this is part of, like, maybe I'm thinking why you chose to incarnate here onto earth, and to help stabilize, because you couldn't do in your past planet. And so maybe it's a lesson, and that's what your higher self was saying, is that this is one of your lessons, and to be able to be here in this lifetime and have this capability to change and affect the earth as much as you do. And so I'm being flashed back to, like, seeing you as that dolphin, but the human, like, going in between the ocean and the sands of that island. It was like there was such a duality for you, going back and forth. It was like, where's my home, where do I belong? And there was like almost fear in both parts. And so I think it was, and again, I'm seeing like so much of a burden of the past, of having to, like, there was that fear element of like, how do I do this by myself, and I'm one person, how do I change the effects of everything going on? But they were saying that's exactly what it is, and that's what you're here for. It's being one person and being able to send out that love vibration and that gratitude, and being engaged in the emotion of enjoyment of the water element. And so I would say you're a water bender. I'd say if you started connecting, I don't know if you do or not, but I'd say you have probably the ability to work with the element of water, and calling on the elementals for water, and really being able to work with that and change and affect that. So it's a huge, from me, somebody who's not a earth watcher, that is, to me, that's like a huge task, and I hope it's not burdensome for you, but that's what they were showing, that's what you were showing me throughout the entire trip. So with light and love.